transfer from Northern Iowa, former junior national freestyle runner-up out of Owatonna. Right down the road. I think you shoot right down 14 from Mankato.
Yep.
And you're in Owatonna.
Pat was a junior national freestyle runner-up and a junior national Greco-Roman champion. He, in fact, he was about a 5- or 6-time All-American for our Minnesota USA programs.
So it was 26-7 at this point after 184 in their dual meet in Cedar Falls. Now we keep alluding to this because that was the national dual semifinals, and I know Coach Jim Makovsky was wondering about his seed on why he was 4 instead of 3, as Newberry jumped into that 2 and Kearney jumped in at 3. But now we're here at 197 pounds. Pat Mahan and Brent Pankoke ranked second in the nation at 84, coming in 6-1. Pat Mahan ranked 6th in the nation at 197. So this is why I like seeing wrestling at this level. You can see this a little bit more. Now Mahan hanging on to that left arm, trying to snap him over.
Pat does a real good job with 2-on-1s. He a lot of his attacks.
Oh, nice,
off that.
nice, off to a low single. Mahan moving really well for a big man. Doubling off. Still hasn't scored yet, and this is where maybe the quickness of Pankoke might be at his advantage. But Mahan still needs to clear that right arm around the hip. Pankoke's sitting around, sitting over, trying to lock in the crotch. See if Mahan, they call stalemate. I think they could have let that go for a few more seconds.
Yeah, but I think they could have let that go a little bit more.
134. Looks like we got some blood.
Mahan doing a nice job there off that 2-on-1, picking the ankle on the opposite side. Like I was saying, Pat likes to do a lot off those 2-on-1s, and he's got a drag from there. He's got some snaps from there, and as you saw, he's got an ankle pick from there too.
Really agile for a big guy. Not the biggest of 97-pounders, but as you said, probably every bit of 197.0. Probably over 200 right about now.
And I think, even in high school already, his freshman or sophomore year, he was already up at about 189. So, he's really actually only within the last year or two here really started to almost grow into his body, I guess.
Yeah, but I was a sophomore in high school, 189 pounds, and it was a completely different type of shape. I can assure you that. No scoring here. Minute 15 remaining here in the first period at 197 pounds. Brent Pankoke bumping up to 184 to alleviate a hole created by Jacob Mars, and he had a scope on his knee about a week ago, so he's been out of the lineup for UNO. Coach Mike Denny discussing it before the match. Not sure if that was public record or not, but now it is. Of course, if you left 6 in here right now, that would have been, you throw 18, and then, all you need is a decision of heavyweight one way or the other, and Mankato's got the upset. But right. I like the fact Denny's putting a guy out there at least to give his team a chance to win the duel. They've still got every chance to win this duel right now. But it's kind of harder to do that when you give up a 6-point hole.
Exactly, and that it was the right move for him. It just obviously, like I said earlier, it didn't work the way he wanted it to, but I think it's what he had to do.
Mahan now hanging on the head with an underhook, trying to snap it down with that front headlock. Mahan, I think, his idea here is just to wear Pankoke down. As we get a stalemate with 16 seconds to go, first period. I think if you're that big and that heavy and you can wear a guy down who hasn't had a whole lot of matches this year, it could work to your advantage in that third period. And that's where Mankato's wrestled really well tonight. It's the third period. They've also wrestled very well in the first period. Second period has been nothing to write home about.
Absolutely. And Pat's always kind of wrestled a style. We always used to joke with him that he could slow a match down to a snail's pace with the best of them. And, it was one of those things. He was never going to win pretty or anything, but, he was going to get that 2-1 win. He was going to get that, 3-2 win. He always came out on top, even though it was never pretty, and didn't light up the scoreboard necessarily.
Now, in case you're joining us for the first, we're here at Minnesota State University, Mankato. The Minnesota State University, as Jim Makovsky likes to sign his emails.
I noticed that he started doing that recently, too.
I like it. The other Minnesota State's out in Moorhead, also a member of the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference.
Yeah.
A different look to the NSIC this year. It's just kind of strange to see how the dynamic of the old North Central and, that conference doesn't exist anymore. And it was a proud wrestling history with North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Northern Colorado, Omaha, etc. in there. But now Mary's come up from the NAIA. Well, I'd like to see schools like, 1-point escape for Pankoke. I'd like to see schools like Minnesota, Duluth, and Bemidji State and Wayne State pick wrestling back up again.
That would be nice. UMD had some dang tough program, or a good tough program, and a lot of tough wrestlers, even up into the early to mid 90s, and I think it was probably around 96 or 97 when the program did get cut. And, you know, at this point, you know, wrestling's losing so many programs, it seems like, every year. And it'd be nice to see a few of them start to get it back. We're starting to see a few more club teams like Winona State here. You know, the participation at the youth level and the high school level is at an all-time high.
Back underway, 1:10 here to go, second period. A 1-0 lead for Brent Pankoke of UNO. And this is a match that Mankato definitely needs to win, because when you've got Brady Wilson and Tony Lewis coming up, those are heavyweights that, as you said, at a snail's pace. They can both wrestle at high energy, and they can both wrestle at a snail's pace. But if you're a heavyweight and you need not to get pinned to win the duel, you're not going to do much.
Right. Not a whole lot at all. And
Pankoke trying to work on that underhook. It's creating separation with 45 seconds to go. Out of a slow shot on the outside. Mahan trying to control the inside ties.
one takedown may very well make the difference of this match, which it doesn't surprise me. Like I said, you know, Pat doesn't typically wrestle real high-scoring matches, but usually finds a way to get it done. And obviously, Coach Makovsky and the rest of the Mavericks, the MSU Mankato Mavericks, hoping that that's what happens here tonight.
Well, this one might be destined for 3-2, as we were adamantly opposed to those type of matches earlier. But this is one that there's a stall warning on Mahan.
Not really sure that either one of those guys has done anything.
I'd have thrown both hands up in the air. This is a Pankoke with a underhook and a post on the head. Now we're going to go to the third period with a 1-0 lead for Brent Pankoke, ranked number 2 in Division II at 184 pounds, bumping up here to wrestle Pat Mahan, ranked 6th at 197. Mahan up to his base, trying to tripod out.
Stay on his feet here now.
Pankoke coming across, now throwing in a half, trying to break down Mahan. Doing a pretty good job of trying to at least break him down, as Mahan trying to get back up to his base.
Staying heavy on his shoulders.
Up to Mahan, up to his feet, gets the one escape and ties it up.
Nothing doing for riding time there, so yeah, it's probably going to come down to a 3-2 match or maybe even overtime.
I don't know, did the riding time move? I didn't see it move. Maybe the other way. Maybe it's 12, 12, and 12.
I think
Who
it was.
Figures. 1:30 to go. Pankoke now on a driving underneath. Mahan with a front headlock.
Mahan looking to tip there.
Trying to go with that far ankle again. He had a good position or a good angle for it. Pankoke with a half shot. Mahan not in a position to reshot.
Pankoke couldn't get by the got by the hands, but couldn't get by the head there. Head and hands defense. They teach that all the time at the college level. Head and hands, and we've seen it in a lot of the other matches here earlier tonight. You know, guys couldn't get by that first line of defense, and you can't score if you can't get by that.
Only one solid offensive attempt by either wrestler in this match, and I think that was Mahan's ankle pick in the early going, which he couldn't finish. And it's going to be take one now. Now a body lock now by Mahan. This is a situation where being the bigger wrestler could be in his favor. Now he tries to go off to that ankle, and now Pankoke drives Mahan to his back, gets 2 on the takedown, trying to...
Wow.
That could be the backbreaker with 20 seconds to go here in the third period. A 3-1 lead for Brent Pankoke. And it looks like the bump, if anything, is going to work out at least through some of these weights. They did lose, but they didn't give up 6. So they're in a better position than they would have. And now it's going to come down to Brady Wilson. So a 3-1 decision